Hey, I'm Brandon for urbansalt, and I'm here with Frankie, one of our favorite fashionistas. So Frankie, I guess I have to ask how you would introduce yourself.
Oh man,
You're like a hyphenate.
this is it right now.
So I guess I'm going to start with the obvious. What would you say is your style inspiration, or how would you categorize your own style?
I think it's important to have a romance with yourself, and to really embody what you're about, and don't overthink it, but just there's something in just embracing and embellishing who you are at the moment.
Absolutely. Like what you're describing sounds kind of like a chameleon kind of style and attitude towards it. How often do you think that you're changing what you're putting out there, and how important do you think it is to keep evolving constantly?
I think it's very important to evolve. I mean, I think, what's interesting is, who we are is inevitable. So certain things will come back, over and over again, or you'll sort of, you might fight a certain part of yourself, or a certain inclination that you might have towards something. You either go there or you don't, and you decide what you're going to sort of tuck away and, get back to later on, and what you're going to examine at whatever given moment. It's for me before it's for anybody else,
Good call.
And I try not to be too offensive. But.
So one of the biggest things we're doing with urbansalt is kind of answering the thought that LA is styleless, and you're a New York transplant, so could you talk a little bit about the style on the street and elsewhere in LA versus the city?
It's a whole different backdrop, and I think the difference between New York and LA is the backdrop, and I think when I first came out here, I remember I would wear like scarves and like hats, and I still have gloves on. But I would wear like, I would still dress like I was dressed for New York, and I would be hot, and it just didn't always work, but I didn't get it. I felt like it wasn't that I didn't adapt that quickly, and so I really got it and found the LA Frank, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is who I am out here. This is how I can sort of maneuver into that.
Well, you know what's up. So what do you look for and give a thumbs up to, and sometimes see and say that's not quite working? What do you look for as a pro and con?
This is what Coco Chanel was all about. Is really the difference between style and fashion. And it's not it's not about following trends and following fashion, but really developing style. And having style come across in trends and in fashion, and how you're going to do that, because then you're sort of just, you either become a mannequin, or you just become this sort of like exasperated person trying to keep up and change and evolve just for the sake of doing that, and I think that really where the work needs to be done is developing your own personal style, the things that you like, the objects that you like, really looking into them, studying them, finding out where those references came from. The silliness factor is sort of becoming less and less. I think, people can really walk down the street and look like Madonna or Michael Jackson circa whatever year, or, look like, someone from the 1940s or the 1920s, or, have magenta hair or, lime green hair, and it doesn't look like they're the odd person out. It just sort of looks like they took that and they're just living their life like that. It's like, whatever, cool. I dig it.
Again, I think we have to be thankful that we're in LA, because it is certainly not the case everywhere, and I think that is what urbansalt is hoping to do, and show that LA has it going on in a way, and that there's the opportunity to, put effort into what you're wearing because there's people watching.
Yeah, definitely.
What we talked about is the idea of tribes in LA and in fashion as a whole. Do you have any comment on that, and kind of what different kinds of clothing signify, and the lifestyle that it also embodies?
The different looks that people are sort of adapting to are very tribe-esque, where they're pulling from, whether they're pulling from nature, and putting, and actually wearing, flowers or greenery, you know, in their hair, on their lapel, or going very intensely into a more futuristic look with hair dyes and colors, or, you know, metals and textures, or you know, cottons, and, you know, interesting. You know, I think that's where we're heading. That's where we're at.
Well, I think that's a great place to wrap it up, because all you can look towards is the future. Thank you for being part of our tribe, Urban Salt.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Frank. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.